The Chick family are from West Sussex. There's Mum Jem, Dad Dave, and their 3 teenage children. The eldest is Gracie.
Evan is the kind of slightly crazy one, sometimes a bit grumpy, but he'll always make us laugh. Iris is like usually the quiet one, but she's really come out of her shell on this trip. I'm trying to keep everyone in check.
9 months ago, the family were inspired to live a more mobile lifestyle. They got into a van and began travelling the UK. They also raised a little money on the side for charity.
When the kids came to us and said they wanted to get out and go on a journey and challenge themselves, there was no hesitation. It was like, we've got to do it.
But travelling for months without work can be expensive. So on this trip, they decided to try and survive on just £10 a day.
We split the £10, £5 for food and £5 for fuel. Our fuel means that we can drive about 30 miles every day, which means we travel slowly. We have porridge for breakfast with water and a pinch of salt. That only costs us 25p for all of a family of 5. But we also really like to forage.
Home now is this 1960s Morris Traveller. Here, the family eat, sleep, and even cook.
Sometimes we're a bit like, oh, what have we done? We don't have a heater. It is pretty cold.
Sometimes we'll pull up maybe in a supermarket car park and they're like, do you sleep in that? And we're like, yeah, and the 3 kids in the back.
The car was a wreck when the family bought it, but Dave used his carpentry skills to build it into a functional family home.
This is what we call our shower tray, so you can have a shower. We've got doors here that just close this section off if you want a bit of privacy. This is the kids' bed up here. They sleep top to toe. And then under here is our toilets. That's one of the conditions of getting your wife to go on a journey in the back of a vehicle, really, yeah. Has to have a toilet.
Probably the most challenging thing is probably being stuck in a small space with Evan.
Obviously, kids sort of sleeping above us, so we have to grab our own time when we can, really.
That was a very diplomatic answer.
Sometimes, to help bring communities together, the family spend a little extra and invite the locals for lunch. Evan likes to cook.
It's good to be able to cook for people and share a meal. It's a great way of bringing people together. Oh, sorry, the youngest. Right,
On our trip, we've met so many different people. I was cooking with Syrian refugees.
We've seen on this trip there's so much struggles and problems. So you ask any of us, all we want to do is the future is just help people.
A lot of my friends have been struggling with a lot of mental health issues, a lot of them just losing hope, kind of finding no purpose in life. So I really want to encourage young people to get involved in their communities because they get so much from it and they also have so much to give.
A lifestyle dedicated to community and free of material goods came from earlier experiences in Dave's life.
There was a recession and I lost my business, lost my property overnight. I guess that made me a little bit disillusioned. And then when you start a family, I thought to myself, do I really want to put my kids on that? So I guess I just decided to do things differently and try and teach them things that maybe are more valuable in life, like people.
Today's event is particularly special for Gracie. It's her 16th birthday.
I can't think of a better way to celebrate. There's complete strangers that have come along to see what it's all about as well. I've written something. I'm just going to read that to you guys. We've been on a unique and extraordinary journey. We've met people from every walk of life who have experienced rock bottom, and that's why we're willing to spend our life travelling the UK, trying to bring people together.
I don't know anyone here, and I know people now from, maybe 40 or 50 miles around that I've never met before, so what they're doing is working.
I'm incredibly proud of all 3 of my children. They've really changed on this journey.
I used to sleep in the middle, but then Grace got too big, so she had to go in the middle.
Being on a tenner a day, I miss avocados.
But yeah, I miss cucumber. But, we do get them a little bit.
Good night, guys.
Love you.
Turn the lights off, Evan, please.
Okay.
We've often met people who have preconceived ideas of how you live, maybe you're some sort of hippie, but normally after, half an hour and a cup of tea, people realise that you're just a normal family that are doing something different.
And we have the whole Chick family. family
course we
here
have.
with us now. Thank you so much for coming in.
It's a pleasure.
Well, I'm
Thanks for having
parking on
me.
our piazza here. It's incredible what you're doing, and you've actually been on to the next leg, haven't you? Because you've come from Brecon Beacons.
We have.
have.
Yeah, we've visited some community projects up in the Brecons after actually going to Somerset as well.
And
My
Evan, you've got to
goodness.
be thankful for a very mild winter. How has it been
Yes.
so far living in there with your sisters?
Well, Mo doesn't do too well in the winter. She doesn't start very well in the morning. But for us, it's fine, you know. Just it's a challenge. You just got to cope with it and deal
Remind
with
yourself
it. Yeah.
why you're doing it, really.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's got
yeah.
purpose.
It's got down to about -2, I think, the coldest since we've been in there. So we noticed it that night.
You huddle together, don't
Yeah,
you?
yeah.
Well, exactly. I mean, it is
Stay
so
warm.
tiny, isn't it? So I guess if you sleep in, like we saw in the film, they're close together, it's
Yeah.
going to keep a bit of body heat going, hasn't
It
it?
is, yeah.
I mean, how do you not kill each other?
We remind ourselves
Yeah.
why we're doing it.
There you are.
Yeah.
And we've got the front seats as well, so that's kind of your chill out
An
space
escape,
to come into the front.
I mean, we've said you've been doing it for 9 months. Are you going to keep going then? I mean, what is the plan from here, Dad?
So, the plan is to keep going. So we've decided that we just want to promote community.
Yeah.
So we're going to go anywhere anyone invites us to take our community. Just the other day, someone contacted us and said they wanted to bring their street together. They've lived there 14 years, haven't really got to know anyone, so they said, will you bring community?
Yeah.
And we're going to have a street party.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just, you know, we're just
Fantastic.
inspired to
trying
carry
to
on.
be the kind of
Yeah.
catalyst for that connection.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah,
sort of
yeah.
turn up and facilitate it, and then hopefully those connections remain.
Yeah, and you know, through Instagram and Twitter, because you're on social media, people
Yeah,
are hearing
yes.
about you and what you're doing, and you're actually, Gracie, doing a TED Talk, aren't you?
We are doing a TEDx talk in Norwich at the end of April, which is very exciting to be able to sort of spread our message and the story of our journey.
Yeah, fantastic. I've just joined Instagram, so I'm going to follow your travels.
Great.
I'm going to do all of that.
Love
But
that, thank
do you know
you.
what? We've got a little picture of your house at home before we do go, because when you're not travelling around in this is your other house.
Yes,
It's incredible.
Thank you.
The life that you guys live, it really is something.
It's
But
just
anyway,
normal to us, though,
Yeah,
it seems. Yeah.
It is.
yeah.
to
Well,
it.
best of luck.
Yeah, it's lovely to meet you
Thank you
all.
very much.
Thanks for having
Yeah.
us.
You can park here all night.
Can we?
All right.
Okay.
Have a warm cup of tea before you go.
Listen, we'll get you some avocado and some cucumber as well.
Now, growing up, most of us will have taped the top 4. Do you remember that on a Sunday off the radio?
yeah.
Or maybe recorded bands off the telly.
Yeah, but what if that recording turned out to be the only surviving copy in existence? Yeah, well, that's what happened here.